What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the collective clips where you guys already know we toss, toss, toss. I just love tossing. You guys like tossing? Let me see you toss it up. Oh no, we can't do that. I'm a non-active gang member. Can't toss it up. What we can do is toss this motherfucking intro into effect. Welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate the support, man. I'm very humbled by it. Let me sit over here so you guys can see my dirty laundry. Uh-oh, I got to fold the tank tops. Now, I'm just as real as they get. Let's talk about Super Gunner episode 9. Are you guys ready? The funniest removal I ever seen in real life in high definition. I was like, oh no. Are these guys really going to go that route? It was crazy. So I'm sitting there in Tracy prison. I'm back on a violation, right? And this time, I'm no good in the hood, right? So for all you haters, don't worry, man. I admit it. I wasn't active, right? I was on the other side. Other side meaning I wasn't in a good on a GP yard. I wasn't active, right? I was on a yard. There was degenerates. There was whoever was on that yard. They better not say nothing to me, right? I was doing my thing. And I had a homeboy, Gato from M Street, that was functioning on that side of the yard. That was actually a real close homeboy of mine. Still is, right? Who was doing life on a murder beef. Well, actually, he was doing 16 years. He's out now. But he had his little murder case thing going on. And so when I pull up, this was my first time on a violation on really non-active shit. So I'm like, man, how's it going to be? Because I only experienced the other side, right? Now, don't get it twisted, man. I did parole from a 50-50 yard in Jamestown. So I was kind of like, I knew what it was to be around dudes, some of them not active, northerners, some of them still. And to me, it was pretty much the same thing. They're still checking paperwork. You still couldn't be a rat. You still couldn't fucking have a weird case, nothing like that. So that was what I experienced. So, anyways, I get there and I'm thinking, man, I ain't talking to no one. Well, I get a wheelot shot down to me. I'm on J Wing in Tracy, DVI, right? Gladiator School. The wheelot comes, one of the tier tenders pushes it up under my door and I read it. And it's from the homeboy Gato from M Street, from my area, not my neighborhood, but from my area, right? I know him. I've known him since we're kids. My homeboy Felix. So I'm reading it. He's like, hey, bro, I'll see you on the yard. I heard you just pulled up. What's up? You need anything? I'll shoot you a few sopas, whatever, bro. And he's down the tier from me, right? So I'm like, hell yeah, bro. Shoot me a bar of soaps and sopas, whatever you got. He's like, hold up, bro. I ain't got everything, but I got you. So he shoots me a little care package down. I'm cool. My celly at the time is a dude from Stockton. He's a non-active Norteño as well. So he's been in and out on violations. So he's kind of giving me the rundown. So I'm like, so how does it work on the yard? He goes, it's like kind of like the same old thing, bro. You got, everyone that's going to go out here is not active, but you got these gangs, these groups, man. A lot of people like to call them PC gangs. I don't like to do that. Just you have gangs like Northern Rioters, 2-5ers, or whatever. These prison dropout gangs, man, that are just doing what they do. So I'm like, all right, that's a trip. And so he's like, yeah, just stick to your own car, bro. Own car meaning your county. At that time, we were doing Merced County shit. So I'm like, all right, cool. So boom, it's time to go to the yard. And one thing in Tracy, man, the yards always get fucked up. You can go to Tracy for a year and never get a yard because the first time the doors crack, there's always some type of removal. There's always some type of shit going on the non-active and the active side. I remember on the active side, we were on lockdown for years. So you were lucky if you got to see the yard. I've been to Tracy like 6 times and only seen the yard like 3 or 4 times. Straight up. Literally 3 or 4 times in years. So anyways, I remember walking out to the yard and we got our hands behind our backs and we're mobbing through they're like long corridors, right? And one thing about Tracy DVI, anyone who's ever been there, they could speak on it and say I'm speaking facts. It's probably the biggest yard, one of the biggest yards, if not the biggest yard I've ever seen in my life in prison. This yard is gigantic. So when you walk out to your right side is going to be K-Wing. K-Wing is the oil, the hole, add seg, right? And sometimes you're going to see guys out there in the cages doing their thing. They're out in the group yard or whatever. And they'll be hollering at you, hey, bro, what's up? You know what I'm saying? And they're just trying to talk to who they can talk to. If you communicate with them, the cops are going to snatch you up, search you, maybe send you back to your building, right? So you don't really want to do that, but there's ways to communicate without, you know what I'm saying? You can do a little sign language thing, look straight forward and whatever. On your left-hand side, as you walk out to the yard, there's these big handball courts. They're like, it's the side of a building, and they're made into handball courts, and you got different groups, playing handball or whatever. On the non-active side, it's not regulated where only like Southsiders are here or Northerners are here, because no one's playing that, or they're not supposed to be. But you do have these gangs like the Riders, like the 2-5ers, or like whoever's there, right? Now in Northern California, you're not going to see too many 2-5ers. You're going to see like Green Lighters from the southern side, right? Different little groups you hear about, but they're not really out there fucking flaunting or doing their thing because they're in Northern California. And most people that are locked up there are from that area. Okay, they're from fucking the San Joaquin Valley. So you got Merced, Stockton, Sacra, a few homeboys from San Jose, you got Modesto, you got all that. That's the people that go to Tracy, because that was our reception. So as I'm walking out to the yard this day, my homeboy's walking towards me. It's, like I said, a big yard. Now, everyone knows the bars are way on the back of the yard. In the middle, you'll have a tower. Okay, in the middle, directly in the middle of the yard, you have a tower. And then way in the back of the yard, I mean, it takes forever to get there, is all these bars, right? We don't have free weights in Tracy at that time. It was all bar work. And so on the right-hand side, that's always been the Norteño side. Always, right? And then usually it was all the bars, and you never had Southerners on the yard with active Norteños. They keep them separated. They had their own buildings, so they always came out separated. But of course, this was a whole different DNA, a different makeup. This is non-active. This is something different. Now, don't get it twisted and think non-active means motherfuckers can't get active, because yes, they will. In fact, it happens a lot more because you don't have no one to dictate your program, right? Unless you're part of these dropout gangs that I guess have rules and reglas or whatever they got going on, right? So as I walk out there, the homeboy meets me. He's with another couple homeboys from Stockton, another homeboy from Merced. So I'm like, what's up, bro? He's like, oh, yeah, we're over here. So we're all the way to the right, and that's like the Merced County bars. Now, it's broken up into counties. So you have Merced County. So you got vatos from Planet, Merced, Atwater, Gusty. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, north, south, none of that. Everyone's right there, just kicking it, just doing their thing. This Merced County business, right? Still prison. Everyone's still looking for a reason to act stupid, and that's just how it is. In the middle is Stanislaus County. So you have like vatos from Modesto, Turlock, Ceres, Wesley, Paton, Grayson, fucking Denair, Keys, all these little cities right here. And then on the left-hand side, you had dudes from San Joaquin, right, which is like Stockton and Lodi and all that. And then at the very end, there were Southerners right there, right? They all kind of kicked it together. Now, the Southerners, there was vatos that just got caught up from L.A., vatos that were, caught up from Playboys from Stockton, whatever. Sanjo, like they upstaters. It was mostly upstaters, a few dudes from L.A. They weren't still playing Southside business, but they kind of stuck together. Okay, I've told a story about this in the past, man, how we had a dude from A-Town from Atwater. He was an ex-Southsider. He was kicking it with us. And he told me, hey, bro, I'm fucking not trying to kick it with them. Dudes want me to kick it with them, but I ain't doing that shit no more. And I said, I get it. Just stay over here. You're from Merced County. I got you. They approached. I let him know. Me and the homeboys let him know. It wasn't just me. I ain't no gangster like that, but we all let him know, hey, this is the homie. He's going to kick with us. And they were like, all right. They ended up getting off on him later on, and he fought back and whatever. So this particular day, right, we're out there and the homeboy's running me down. It's my first yard. He's like, yeah, bro, fucking, hey, I'm going to try to get you set up with me. I got a tattoo machine. He was a good tattoo artist. He's like, I could hit your work, man. I could do all this. I'm all pumped up. Like, yeah. So what you violated for, bro? I told him, it's just a quick violation, man. This was at the time. What had happened was I was sick, right? I was sick, and I had taken some, my mother-in-law at the time, my ex's mom, she told me, hey, mijo, there's some fucking, some cough syrup in the refrigerator, and it was prescribed to her. I didn't even trip. I took a little drink of the fucking cough syrup, and ended up going on parole, man. And he violated me for being on drugs, right? And I explained to him, man, I was sick. He knew I was sick. It was just cough syrup. It didn't matter, right? Violation. Boom. So now I'm sitting on this yard. I still got to go to Valdivia. I still got to catch my time. I still got to figure that out. And the homie tells me, hey, bro, it's about to go down on the yard today. I said, well, what's up? You always want to give someone the heads up unless it's them. Like I've always said, on a prison yard, whether it's GP, non-active, doesn't matter. If something's going to go down, someone's going to there's a pegada going down, someone's going to get hit or removed. Everybody on the yard kind of knows what's going on except for the person that gets hit. So if you don't know shit and something's going down, it's probably going to be you, right? So the homeboy's telling me, he's like, yeah, bro, fucking these riders, which were Northern riders at the time, right? He's like, they're tripping on this Volta from Modesto. I guess he was once a Northern rider and decided to pull back, and they weren't playing that shit. And there was other reasons behind it. He didn't tell me the detail. I didn't give a fuck, to tell you the truth. So I'm already out there. Like my building was released kind of first. He's on my building, the homeboy. So he went out there before me. His tier, he was on the bottom tier. It goes by tiers, right? So now other buildings are coming out. And it's not necessarily like when it was GP, they have every building out there. It's just like 2 or 3 buildings that were non-active at the time, right? So it's a lot less people, but there's still a lot of people. And this dude comes walking up, and the homeboy tells me, "Hey, see that vato right there?" And he takes his shirt off. He has Modesto real big on his stomach, and he has a W on one back arm and an S. He's from West Side Modesto. And like I said, their bars were right next to us. So he's working out and shit, but you can see he's on alert, like he's looking as these people are walking out. Now, the riders that were there wasn't very many of them, maybe like 10 of them at that time. Now, later on, Tracy got flooded, right? But there was only like 10 of them, and they were like kicking it right there under the tower. Facts. This is where they were. They were just sitting right there talking, not sitting, but standing around talking. And the homie's giving me the whole rundown. He said, "That's the riders right there, bro. They're supposed to move on this dude right here from Modesto." Now he's working out. And so as he's working out, dudes are coming from Modesto over there, right? And they're kind of like talking to him like, "Hey, bro," they already know what it is. Like, "You're on your own, homie. You got it." Now, you got to understand, this is the truth. This is how it was back then. Now it changed. Things changed. But back then, these gangs, these groups that sprung up, the dropout gangs or whatever you want to call them, in the beginning, a lot of people didn't want to associate or be a part of that. Later on, they took over and a lot of people started to gravitate towards them. But in the beginning, a lot of just didn't want to be a part of that. They were just like, "Hey, we're already in bad stands. We're already dropouts, or we're already non-active, whatever you want to call it, right? We're not trying to be a part of that shit." So these dudes from Modesto and this area, they're telling dude like, "Hey, bro, you got to kick rocks." So he tries to go over in the back by our bars and work out. And Gato's like, "Nah, bro, this ain't going to happen." Because the last thing you want on his yard, if you know something's going to go down with this dude, you don't want them running up in your area, because now that poses a threat. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you're active or not. Still a threat. It's still prison. There's still knives involved. Hey, you got to go. So the homeboy goes up to him. We walk up. And the homie's like, "Hey, where you from, bro?" He's like, "I'm from Motown, bro. I'm Modesto and shit." He's like, "What's up, man? These fools tripping on you or what?" He's like, "Yeah, bro, they're tripping me because I fell off. I kind of fell back. I was in prison before and I was functioning with them, but I don't want to do that no more." And Gato said, "Unfortunately, bro, you're going to have to bounce. This is like the Merced County area, bro. We're not trying to gangbang on you, but you're on your own, homie." That's so sad, and it's unfortunate in prison that motherfuckers are on their own. You got to go. Get the fuck out of here, man. Whooping. I could do. That's what Ricky would say. "Oh, no, fuck that. You're not active. You might as well be a Southside." Right? He would have tripped. So we're like, "Hey, you got to go." And dude's like, "Hey, bro, I'm not trying to bring drama into your area, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not fucking trying to get stabbed either." It's like, "Hey, bro, Spencer, whatever you did or whatever they felt you did, you're on your own." So, of course, the riders are like getting closer. They're starting to walk up in a group. They're walking our way. So I'm like, "Oh, shit, man. We got to, all I have is my dick in my pants. You guys got anything?" We had things out there. The homeboy's like, "We got shit out here, bro." I was like, "Damn, even on the non-active area, they got knives buried, right?" So Gato's like, "Come on, let's go." So we met with the riders right there. And there was one, he was a big fat dude. He had a big old Playboy bunny on his face, right? And so Gato's getting at him. So I guess he's like their little shot caller or whatever he was, right? And they didn't really have shot callers like that. I guess they do now or whatever they got going. I don't know their business, but they didn't have them that back then, right? They were all kind of just independent. But we walk up on them, right? And they're like, "Hey, what's up with that vato? Is he kicking it with you guys? You guys got his back?" The homie's like, "Hell no, we ain't got his back. But look, you guys come into our area, it's on, bro. I'm just to let you guys know right now." The homeboy Gato was no punk. He's a convicted murderer. He was a gangster, right? "I'm letting you guys know right now, bro. I don't play that shit what you guys are into, which is cool. But if you vatos come into our area, it's Merced County thing. We're going to get off, bro." And they're like, "Nah, we ain't tripping with you vatos like that. Send that fool out of the area." Got to say, "You're going to have to fucking figure it out, bro. We're not going to push that dude like out of the area. We're going to tell him. We're not going to force him, bro. What are we going to do? Drag this fucking dude and throw him out there for the wolves to get him?" Like, "Nah, we can't do that. We don't want to get caught up on this bullshit." But again, they're like, "Hey, don't even trip. We'll take care of business." So, all right, cool. So we walk away. So, of course, that dude's trying to holler at us. And Gato's looking forward. He's like, "Hey, bro, you're on your own. Like, hey, the best thing to do is just to take off walking right now on the track and just do your thing." Well, there's some brothers that are walking around the track, right? And they keep looking at old boy. I guess one of them he knows from Modesto. He's from a place called Oaktown, not Oak Park, Oak Street or something like that. Big old black dude, right? So he tells the ex-Northerner, the fucking ex-Northern rider, he tells him, "Hey, come here, bro." So he's walking with the blacks. Northern riders are tripping out like, "Oh, the blacks, they don't want no funk with the blacks at that time." There's a gang of blacks over there. I don't know why, right? But they were over there on the other side, and it's facts. So as this dude, they're talking, I guess the dude's telling him, like, "Don't trip, we got you. We got you." They ain't got him. They don't give a fuck. They just want to see some drama, right? So as they start to pull off, right, they stop on the track. Now the tower's watching because you can't just stop on the track. You got to keep the flow moving. And this track is so big, you could probably walk it maybe once or twice the whole yard, and the yard's over. Yard's only an hour, right? So they walk like a little distance. They're down by where the Southerners function at, right? And then all of a sudden, I see all the blacks start walking away towards the middle of the field. And that dude's like, oh shit. So he starts trying to walk backwards, like back towards us. And it was on and cracking. The riders took off running, right? The funny thing is, the big fat one, he put out a thing and he's running, riders, right? This motherfucker trips, I don't know over what, and stabs himself in the shoulder, right? Boom. I'm like, oh shit, right? He's rolling, oh shit, right? These other ones, they're chasing. This dude's taking off at a full run. He's running around the track. You got dudes running around him. The brothers are laughing. They're running in the middle of the thing, running up to him on the track, then stopping. They're running up and then stopping. This fool's running around the track. I see this motherfucker hit like 4 laps, right? They're on him and they're on him. And everyone's like, hey, where's Waldo? Everyone's yelling. Eventually, one of the little Northern Riders runs up. I got him, homie. Right? And he pulls that dude and he trips him right in front of the cops. The cops are walking out there. They've already done hit the alarm. Because there's one dude, I'm going to not deny my shoulder, hey. Right? He's struggling. They think he got whacked. They're focused on him. This dude, they're over there dog walking this dude, right? I ain't even gonna lie. The blacks run over there. I'm thinking, oh shit, it's really kicking off, right? It's gonna be a black and Northern Rider thing. Man, that blacks run over there and they're laughing. They're like, get that motherfucker, man, right? The tower looks their way and of course fires off a shot. Bah! Warning shot, right? Boom. Everyone's down. The dude who was getting beat up, he didn't even get stabbed. He just got beat up by a few Northern Riders, right? They're like, yeah, we did that, homie. We did that. Keep riders out of your mouth. He's like, that's what I'm trying to do, right? The black dudes are laughing. They're like, oh, man, you let these suckers whip on you, man. You let these suckers whip on you. The Northern Riders jump up and rush the blacks, and now they're fighting, right? Because they were calling them suckers, right? This dude, this is true story, jumps in, helping the riders fight the blacks. The cops are all running up, right, trying to defuse the situation. More fire shots, more firing, warning shots. Boom, boom. We're watching this shit from a distance. We're actually walking closer, like, fuck it. The yard's supposed to be down. We're like inching our way closer because they're focused on them, right? This dude is fighting with the blacks. Next thing you know, cops come, they snatch everyone up. A couple days later, that dude's in my building, right? Some dude hollers down to him. He's like, hey, compa. That's what they called each other, right? He's like, yeah. He's like, hey, bro. Man, good looking out right there on the yard, man, helping us with those brothers, right? But he said a derogatory term. He's like, bro, we're going to shoot you a wheeler. What you know about a few days later, that motherfucker was back in the fold. He was good. They went out there to stab him, stabs themselves, have to chase this dude, run out of breath. These motherfuckers were literally on there. Couldn't catch him, right? Funniest shit I ever seen. Now, that doesn't reflect on their gangs because they're about the business, right? The motherfuckers will stab each other and do their thing. But I just thought it was the funniest removal I ever seen. I remember my homeboy, I'm looking at him. He's like, well, that shit didn't work out right, huh? I shot him a wheeler down a few days later. I said, they have all those back in the fold? He said, I guess so. I guess they brought him back up. He's cool again. I was like, I thought they didn't get down like that. He was like, they did for him. It was just crazy, right? So look, it's about a month passes. We're finally going to go back to the yard. After this incident, it took a while to go back to the yard. We're finally going to go, and I'm thinking, cool. The homeboy Gato was going to shoot me his tattoo guns. He had to bring it out because he couldn't shoot it, couldn't fit under the door, all this equipment. He was going to bring it out. We're going to stash it. I was like, what if we get searched? He's like, if it gets sucked up, it gets sucked up. He was going to shoot me that. He was going to shoot me a whole bunch of cosmetics and shit because he was about to leave. He had been there for a while. He's about to go to prison soon, to the main line, right? Or to his main line. And so as we're walking out there, right? This dude, I guess they told him, man, he had to get off on the blacks again to be back in the fold like that, right? Man, let me tell you something. This guy gets out there. There's a gang of brothers, man. The brothers are walking on the track. That's usually what they did. They'd walk the track. I don't recall there being basketball courts in Tracy, man. I just can't remember if there was or not. But they're walking the track, man. This dude takes off at a dead run trying to rush some black dude. He picked the skinniest, smallest dude he could find on the yard. He tried to rush him, right? Man, them black dudes started dog walk. Boop, 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 boop. They're fucking him up. All of them, right? North Riders went over there, man. Big old thing kicks off, right? They take them all to the hole. This dude comes back to the building, right? A couple of the riders come back to the building. Brothers didn't even go to the hole. They came back to the building. What you know about dudes like, hey, compa, yeah, hey, keep that shit out of your mouth, bro. You didn't do right. And that was it. He was all bad now. I was like, damn, this dude's on a roller coaster ride for reals, right? I was like, man, this shit is funny. Anyways, that's how it works out, man. I didn't get involved in nothing because that wasn't my business. But that's how it goes in prison sometimes. It doesn't mean motherfuckers are punks. It just means sometimes weird shit happens. Anyways, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the story. I got another super coming for you guys later on today. I got a whole bunch of content. Excuse me for not dropping content yesterday. I wasn't feeling well, man. My diabetes is kicking in, and I was just feeling sick, very sick, man. So I just didn't do that much work yesterday, man. No excuses. Anyways, man, this video right here is being sponsored by Vodka Liquors out of Turlock, California. If you're in the area, go support the homeboy Lolly. Pull up, man. Go get you a cold one. This is the gun. Bang, bang.